That's pretty impressive. You know, I'll tell you, from the road, looking at those lights, I thought it was a runway, and it turns out those are all drones. That's unbelievable. Let's do it.
All right. Executing in 5 seconds. So you're looking at 130 individually lit drones. Each one performs their own flight operation, but they actually work together as a fleet, as a swarm. They create objects and shapes in the sky.
Wow. Can you imagine waking up in a tent in the middle of the forest and having this over your head? Wow. And they go right back to their prearranged location, huh?
Yep.
Drone swarm technology was first introduced by the U.S. military in 2015. It allows for hundreds of drones to work in coordinated ways and conduct precise maneuvers.
For the record, this technology, at least from a commercial perspective, has only really been around now for how long?
Probably the past 2.5 years.
It's possible, but quite plausible, that people have seen drones like this and confuse them for unidentified flying objects. And unless you are up close and personal and see it's a drone, it's really hard to tell what the hell it is.
100%. 100%. I couldn't imagine not knowing that this technology exists and then just seeing something like this in the distance. Of course, what is that? It's an unidentified flying object. Like with that mothership, the negative space, that it looks like a physical flying object.
That negative space, it appears that there's a solid object behind it.
Yeah. This is pretty crazy too. Watch this final maneuver.
Wow. You know, in recent headlines, Colorado has been experiencing a rash, if you will, of drone sightings. Now, they call them drones. We don't know what they really are, but FAA has looked into it. The military has looked into it. Local law enforcement, they can't find the people who are driving or flying these things. They seem to be flying in a very regimented flight path and pattern, doing some sort of either survey or reconnaissance. What are your thoughts on what's going on in Colorado?
Could be a system like this, maybe some prototype system that some tinkerers are working with, and they're getting pretty good at it.
So it would not be out of the realm of possibility that really these are drones being tested by either some large corporation or unique military activity that you know, people they want to remain either anonymous or secretive.
Exactly, yeah.
Elizondo notices a line of spectators, which could provide real-time data on how these objects are perceived.
We're just driving down the street. We had no idea what's happening, and we definitely, you know, kids are playing their little iPads. I'm listening to music, talking, and I'm like, what is it?
What the heck is that?
I was like, that's not supposed to be there.
Couldn't figure out exactly where it was coming from.
When it disappeared, I said, "Down, that's weird." That's what I really thought. We got to be seeing something that's not normal, you know. And it had me going.
It was spinning.
And it was spinning.
Yeah.
It was changing shape, doing everything that when you hear people say they reported seeing a UFO, it was doing all the characteristics of that.
If you didn't know better, it looked like a solid object. Obviously got your attention,
See all
right?
Cars that pulled in there?
I know.
There's a parade of cars coming in here.
These things are maneuvering so precise in the air that the eye actually believes there's a solid object that is holding these points of light together. And as we saw with just average American citizens on the road, they actually pulled their vehicles over and looked at it, and the first thing they thought was, my God, that's a UFO.